Welcome to Bourbon Sauce, where we get sauced on bourbon and talk all kinds of bullshit. This week's episode is called Rare Breed. We're going to talk about bulldogs, some fun facts and stories about living with our personal versions of the bulldog. We've got Ryan and myself. Dan, grab your favorite bourbon and join us for the show. Before we get started, Ryan, what are you sipping on?
Well, Dan, I decided to go with a little bit of bird dog today.
That's a good
Small
one.
batch. So it's pretty good. I mean, I've had worse. I've had better. It's a good middle of the road bourbon. Run you around $40 a bottle for the small batch.
Sounds like some girls we've both dated.
Right.
Some better, some worse.
What about you?
I'm doing Wild Turkey Rare Breed, the barrel proof one. It's one of my favorite go-tos. I figured it's a perfect fit for the name of the show, episode, whatever you guys want to call this thing. It's good. I like it. It's smooth. I toss a couple ice cubes in it because it waters it down just a little bit because of it being barrel proof. Otherwise, I find it to be a little stronger without the ice. But
Right.
this one's not too bad. It's moderately priced, probably like $40, $50 for a bottle. So
It's well worth it.
yeah, I like it. This is probably my third bottle in the last 6 months.
Yeah, you seem to have favored it quite a bit.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like Wild Turkey as much because I normally used to do like Wild Turkey like
The 101.
101
Yeah.
for shots at parties and stuff like that, and so I was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to get into Wild Turkey, but this one's good, and I also like the Long Branch.
I got turned on to the Long Branch big time, especially with that mesquite finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that pairing that they did with Matthew McConaughey there, they did really good with that.
We got lucky there.
Yeah, for
Secured
sure.
a few bottles before
Especially
they
now.
stopped doing that.
I was gonna say now that they have divorced, they're no longer gonna work together,
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of sad.
I
But,
would
you
say
know.
with the bird dog though, one thing even when you tried it that one
Mm.
time, it's definitely out of all the bourbons we've tried,
Yep.
it has a much more woody
It does.
flavor.
Yeah.
It's definitely heavy on the wood flavor.
It's woody. So, speaking of bulldogs, English bulldogs is what we both have. Not old English bulldogs. Those are different. And people don't usually know that is a difference because, well, just like most dogs, people are like, oh, it's a bulldog,
Right.
But there's a significant difference in size and longevity and ailments and all kinds of different things between those two breeds themselves. You've had yours for 7 years?
Tank just turned 7 last weekend on the
Oh.
14th.
Yeah.
We had the ice cream cupcakes.
Yeah. Thor didn't know what the fuck to do with it at first. It was pretty funny.
Uh-huh. The other two damn sure knew what to do with it.
I thought that they were going to choke on them because they wolfed down the whole damn cupcake in one bite.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's a frozen one. You guys...
Well, Roxy will scarf it down real quick. Tank,
Yeah.
if you noticed, while Thor's like licking his on the ground and rolling it around, Tank is like chewing it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he can't just up and like scarf it as much. He's the slowest eater out of all of them.
Yeah, it's
But
weird.
he would stand there and just like...
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's like a cow chewing a cud
Yeah,
kind
you
of
should
thing.
see him with peanut butter. It's hilarious.
I bet it is. Your dogs bred puppies,
Yep.
and that's where Thor came from,
Yep.
was that litter that I was around for. That's Roxy's second litter, right?
It was her second and her last.
And her last. And both, she didn't have to be induced.
So both litters were natural.
That's what I mean. She didn't have to be
they were
artificially inseminated or
correct.
whatever. Yeah.
So typically with bulldogs, they do artificial insemination, right? With Roxy, she is never taken from an AI because I've tried.
Yeah.
In between both times she got pregnant, I tried. And what's funny is both times she got pregnant naturally,
Yeah.
and both times she got pregnant immediately upon me getting ready to leave somewhere or me having just left somewhere.
I wonder if that's like a hormonal thing. Like all of a sudden she can sense something's going on, and all of a sudden she ends up pregnant. Or maybe Tank something happens with Tank, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep you here. I'm gonna get this bitch pregnant."
Yeah,
kinda
the
thing.
only thing is both times I've left her.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Unfortunately, your dog sitter had to deal with that
Yes, she did.
aftermath.
Yes, she did.
And you lost one on this last
Yeah, I lost
litter,
one out of this last litter.
which is pretty common.
So Tank he's studded out 7 litters now, and he's 7 for 7 on 8 pups a litter.
Yeah.
The thing with that is he's had stillborns and he's had unborns, right?
Yep.
Not necessarily his doing. And then, or actually, no, I guess he's 7 of 8 because the first litter he did, I forgot how many pups he had out of Gilbert's litter, but it wasn't 8. But they did have a couple of stillborn in that. But he produces a very large litter.
Yeah.
And then Thor was a crazy one when he came out because he was this smoky color, and now he's this blonde-headed bimbo.
He is, and he's a very needy blonde,
Well,
just like most blondes.
Well, I mean, what do you think Thor was? You know, you named him after Thor, God of Thunder,
Yeah.
and he's a prima donna.
The God of Thunder farts is what he is. Because this dude rips some fucking farts, man.
Oh, he'll clear a room.
Last night, again, we were sleeping, and I'm like, bro, because he likes to sleep with his face towards my feet, so his ass is pointing straight towards the pillows.
Yep.
And I'm like, come on, man. Like, you got to give it a break. Turn around.
He says, I am giving her a break. I'm breaking wind, by God.
He's very needy.
So
it's good and bad.
They are definitely, I mean, you've seen like all those little videos online about here's what to expect when you own an English bulldog.
Right, yeah.
No personal space, clinginess,
Yeah.
attitude, all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's very true. He, just like Roxy and Tank, has his own little personality. He's very expressive with his eyes, which I was kind of shocked to see. With as many wrinkles and everything, I didn't figure he was going to have so much attitude with his facial expressions. But he does that bombastic side eye all the time to me, and it's like, fuck you too, man. But and just he's about to be 2 this year.
Yep.
And so I feel like he's in those teen years where he's being intentionally a little fuckhead. Like I'll tell him not to do something and he'll do it anyway, like run through the mud. Or like, hey, stay off this part of the yard, and I'll try to keep him away from it. But as soon as I turn around, he fucking runs right for that specific part of the yard that I tell him to stay away from.
Or how that night he learned that he could go under the coffee table in here, and now it's a thing.
Constantly going under this table like he's a kid, and I'm like, dude.
As soon as you tell him to quit, he's like, zoop, back around.
He likes to lick toes and wounds, and he's a real pain in the ass sometimes.
I mean, that's dogs in general, though, liking to lick. It's a comfort thing for them, and it's also a way of them to show affection.
But he doesn't lick obnoxiously, like an abundance. You know what I mean? Like, it's just periodic. But he's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. But either way.
So, fun fact. The term bulldog derives from like the 13th century from bull baiting.
Oh, yeah.
Where they would stake out a bull and give it like 30 feet of line. And then they would use dogs to terrorize the bull. And the goal was ultimately for the dog to bring the bull down. But they believed that doing it that way somehow would make the meat better, more tender, which...
I don't see how that's possible, because if you reduce all that adrenaline in an animal...
But they didn't know that then.
That's going to make your meat tougher.
And they didn't know that then.
Dumb. People are dumb.
It wasn't till the 19th century that it actually started fading out.
Yeah, well, it's, all the animal cruelty people and everything else come around, and probably got tired of seeing dogs getting gored.
Yeah.
Because, if they're trying to go after a bull's snout, which is why their mouths are as big as they are, to be able to fit over that bull nose, they're going to get gored or hoofed.
Right. Another thing I find interesting about bulldogs is they really are not sure where they actually originated. They believe it to be, I think it's Asiatic Mastiffs and Pugs being a cross.
Wouldn't that be a funny thing to watch, a giant Mastiff getting it on with the pug? Those tiny little fuckers with their smashed faces.
I mean, I guess it would be almost like one of those pony stallions getting it on with a big mare. They'd almost have to have a stepladder for it.
What if it was the other way around, where the pug got the Mastiff pregnant?
That's what I'm saying. The pug would have to be on a stepladder.
Versus Mastiff getting the pug pregnant.
Because then the pug would just be kind of stuck there, almost like a, what do they call those?
A wet sock puppet.
Like a sock warmer or whatever for a golf club.
Yeah, or, a...
This is my sleeve for my driver.
I was thinking of pocket pussy. Those fleshlights,
Oh, God.
It turns into an all-natural fleshlight. This Mastiff just railing the fuck out of this dog. God, there's an image for you people.
Or Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins when the little Pomeranian or whatever she is knocking out the big dog.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You know what? He doesn't do, which I've had other dogs do. He doesn't hump like things. He's not very aggressive when it comes to that, I guess. Yet, maybe.
He should be pretty solid. If he's not doing it at this point, you ain't got much.
Like,
to
I don't
about.
catch him trying to get on a pillow or a stuffed animal, or every once in a while he's tried to tackle people and do it, but for the most part he's pretty chill when it comes to that.
Now, I will say Tank has one of those big green. It's like a big green, almost like some kind of weird monster pillow, but it's a big round pillow. Yeah,
he gets after it.
He'll get that thing and tuck it up under and hut, kind of going on thing,
Red Rockets the shit out of that thing.
And then he just stops, but it's like, what the hell are you doing, dude? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just practicing.
Right, because Roxy's probably like, stay the fuck away from me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the bulldog, I didn't think that he was going to be as docile as he is. I just assumed that they were going to be kind of like boxer dogs. You know how boxers are real fucking hyper and shit?
Yeah.
Because of the way that he looks and everything else, and the muscularity, I figured that they were going to be needing more exercise and everything else. But it's just the opposite. He can go fast.
Yeah.
But he would rather just kind of like hang out and relax.
Until you get him wound up, and then it's just chaos.
Yeah. And that's your dog. Fucking Tank, man. He and I just don't like each other. And I got nothing really against Tank. I just don't know where it started or why he started to be an asshole. But I learned that it's not just me, that he's like that with a lot of other people.
A lot of men in general.
Yeah, and I don't understand it.
I feel like in the 4 months I was gone from him, my ex-wife had other people around.
Oh, maybe.
And it done something, because it seemed to be after that time phrase when I came back, he was not very tolerant of other men being around.
Makes sense. Could have been something weird going on
and
there.
For whatever reason, he does not like a man going in what he's deemed my bathroom. You can go in any other room in the house, but you ain't going in my bathroom. If you are, he's coming in, teeth bared.
That's kind of weird, because I've never really heard of a dog that does that, where they're very protective of a bathroom. Well, normally it's like a whole house, not just like one room of the house.
Now, you're not going to come in the house and I'm not there. But when you're there, it's almost like, okay, cool, you're here. But it's like, this room's off limits for some reason.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. But it's funny because you'll lock him in that bathroom.
Yeah, he knows timeout. You tell him and Roxy go to timeout, they go to the bathroom.
So it's like, is he protecting his timeout area, or?
I mean, it could be a mixture of both. They both could establish, like, okay, this is our timeout place, so you get the hell out. Yeah.
This is my quiet spot.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Now, they are both slightly, at times, towards other people, forceful on attention.
Oh, Roxy is absolutely an attention whore.
Oh, 100%. She's an attention whore, but she's just amazing at it. Whereas Tank, he's gentle at first about it, but then when you don't want to keep giving him attention, then he's like an asshole, and he's like,
right. It's funny,
and he doesn't like you yelling at Thor.
Yeah, because then we'll be all in the yard chilling, and if I yell at Thor, then all of a sudden he gets angry at me, like, that's my kid, don't fucking yell at him.
Mm-hmm.
Roxy's just kind of like, yeah, fuck, whatever, yell at him. Because she rolls his ass like every chance she gets to kind of put him in that hierarchy, like reminding him he is nowhere near the alpha or the omega.
You know what I've noticed out of having these bulldogs, right? Is it's almost like a lion pride, right? Whereas the male lion really doesn't do shit.
Yep.
He just eats, fucks, and hangs out.
Yeah.
And fights off other male lions, right? Yeah. And then when he's finally had enough, he'll fuck somebody up, right? Tank's almost the same way. Roxy can just fuck with him till relentlessly, and then when he's had enough, he puts her in her place.
Yeah.
But until then, he just doesn't care.
I think
But then when you fuck with his pride, he's like, nah, bitch.
I feel like that's any normal alpha male in a relationship, even people-wise, because a lot of men are tolerant of their wives or girlfriends doing some dumbass shit to them on a regular, and they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever, keep on, you know, like, all right, enough, you know, and then finally you're like, all right, and then they're like, oh shit, okay, that was too far. I feel like that's the same thing. We all have a primal side to us, so I don't know. I could see that it being kind of like a lion pride. Even with humans.
I get tickled taking them to the water because Roxy, so obviously Thor is built more like Tank, right? He's got that broader.
Yeah, big old barrel chest.
Big old barrel chest, and he tapers at his butt, right?
Yeah, he's got that tapered waist and everything.
So
else,
Roxy's more barreled. She's not fat.
No,
she's just built more like a woman, I guess you would say, as far as her body style for a dog.
For a dog, yeah.
Right?
She got them childbearing hips.
Right, she does. She's built to give birth and carry babies and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But she's by no means fat. And actually, she's super athletic. That dog could climb a tree just about it.
And she'd clear a fucking couch, too.
But you take her to the creek or something, she can swim and will. Tank, his big old barrel-chestedness, it's like he tries to bounce through it because... Yeah. For whatever reason, his stance just doesn't allow him to doggy paddle.
Yeah.
So you should see me having to hold his little harness thing and like help him get through the water.
A little flotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thor likes water.
Can he actually swim in it?
On his terms, he likes water. It's kind of funny. Because I got that little kiddie pool.
Yes.
And at first he didn't want to go in it until my son jumped in it. And then he was like, oh, wait, I'm allowed to go in it too? And then he was in, out. It was ridiculous. And then when I take him to the creek, Thor will just splash through the water. And then he'll try to eat the fish. And then he'll drink the water. I'm like, don't drink that. I'm like, that can't be good for you. I'm like, that water is probably full of fucking fertilizer from the farm fields that are dumping into that goddamn creek, I'm sure.
He's like, the fish swim in it. It's okay.
Yeah. Smells like crawdads and fish. It can't be that bad. I'm pretty sure deer are eating, drinking out of here, and coyotes. I could do it.
And they're very expressive, not just in like facial expressions and stuff, but like they have. It's almost like a language. The or the you know, the different little weird noises that you hear, and sometimes you're like, did that come out of you?
Yeah, and he's very vocal when he needs to go out. Which is good, but it's also sometimes annoying because you're like, do you need to go out or are you just fucking around and you want to go outside to play? And it's hard to distinguish sometimes. Like, I'm pretty sure he wants to go out right now because he keeps fucking with you.
Oh, I'm waiting for you to leave, and then I'm definitely teaching the buttons.
The buttons.
So when you come home, he's like, share your food, share your food. Yeah. Or outside, bitch. Outside, bitch.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy those buttons. He's pretty smart though. First, you know, I didn't think. You look at them; they look dopey as fuck. You wouldn't think.
Yes.
You wouldn't think that they have any certain level of intelligence in them, but they definitely do. And he's definitely smart enough to know when he's fucking with me. And
100%.
And he's gonna get a rise.
And
it's like, you little motherfucking bastard. And he's like, hey, got you, bitch.
But it reminds me of, like, essentially kind of like me, how I have that twang, and when I really get talking about stuff, people are like, or like you first hear me, they're like, "Oh, this dumb hillbilly," right? But then all of a sudden, you get surprised by the fact that I have somewhat of a vocabulary and can comprehend certain things and have a somewhat intellectual conversation.
Right.
So it's kind of like them. You look at them and you're like, "Yeah, this is a dopey dog," and then they're like, "Nah, bitch,
Yeah.
joke's on you."
He is definitely a whore for food, though. I
Oh,
do
they
know.
live for food.
It's ridiculous.
I know you didn't want a dog.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want a dog. And there's a multitude of reasons why I didn't want a dog. Main reason is because my job takes me away a lot. The other reason I didn't want a dog is the hair.
Right.
I can't stand that, and I have white furniture and white sheets and white, like a whole bunch of white in my
But
house.
you didn't pick that.
I did. I did pick it only because a certain somebody liked it.
Exactly.
Had I wanted to go back, it would all probably be this color, like the bourbon room, where it's
Yes.
grayish
Yes.
or a bluish or something darker that would be more concealing of dog dirty faces and whatever fuck. Yeah, I'm talking about you. He's staring at me right now,
Yeah.
judging like, yeah, what? Fuck you too, buddy. He reminds me of a mixture between like Scooby-Doo and I don't really know.
It's a mixture of Scooby and Scrappy.
It
Because
is.
one minute he's afraid of his own damn shadow, and the next he's like, "Let me at him, let me
Yeah.
at him."
Yeah, it is. It is pretty true. He sometimes is afraid of every damn thing, which is kind of funny. For being a bulldog that was supposed to be bred to take down bulls, and you know,
Oh, I love how they get scared of their own farts.
Yeah, all dogs kind of do that though. It's weird. They'll all do that little like.
Yeah, you'll get a little,
Did
and then they'll
that
jump.
come from me?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that definitely
I
came from
mean,
you.
if Tank's fart doesn't make a noise, he doesn't move. But the minute you hear a, he shoots and scoots.
He's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And then he's like turning around looking like, "What was that?"
Yeah, where did that come from? It wasn't me, was it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was absolutely you. Yeah, see, now I don't have an ice cube in this.
Yeah.
It's stronger. I mean, it's over 100 proof, I'm pretty sure. I don't even remember what it is for this bottle, but it's definitely got more bite.
But the funny part about Thor and you getting Thor was, so you actually got to see him from a puppy till now.
Yeah.
And interact with him.
Yep.
And
He picked me.
everybody kept saying that's your dog, and you're like, "No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not."
He definitely picked me. They say animals imprint. That's a true thing. He definitely did that from the get-go. And it might have been my fault because I definitely held him more than the other puppies.
Yeah.
But he definitely was more approachable out of the other puppies that were in the litter, too. I did like Ferdinand also, which, he was not the runt.
No.
He was
No,
like,
that was the big boy.
he was gargantuan
Uh-huh.
compared to Thor. Thor was definitely the runt of the litter.
Well, and then like Elliot has Vicious, the one he named Vicious.
Yeah, which it's
It's interesting because most of the litter favored Roxy in the face, and then Thor, and then the one female in the litter favors Tank's facial.
which I'd rather them have Tank's face, to be honest. Not that Roxy's ugly.
No, but Tank has that what you think of when you look at a bulldog, English bulldog. He has that
Right.
head and face.
Yeah, and
Roxy,
his stance is more
yeah.
bulldog.
Right. Roxy doesn't have that.
She's just different. She's just a different dog, but she's a nice dog.
Still my baby.
She's very sweet.
She's the little spoon.
She definitely uses her paws like they're fucking velociraptor hands or something, and trying to grab you with those talons that she's got.
Yeah, she's learned to flex them almost like a cat and use them to pull things to her.
Now, when it comes to like longevity for these dogs, I've read that they can last from 3 to 11 years on most of the dogs, and it's for one reason or another. Obviously, with their wrinkly faces, they have breathing issues.
They can.
He's definitely got like sleep apnea.
Well, the vet told you he had one of the
nares
nostrils
needs to
was
be
narrow.
widened.
Yeah, it needed to be widened.
But
like Tank and Roxy, I don't have any breathing issues with them.
Yeah.
They don't have any issues with hip dysplasia.
He's got something with one of his legs.
Yeah, he's got a hitch.
Yeah, I don't know what he did.
But
Fucked himself up
It's
doing
interesting.
something.
I've been very fortunate
Yeah.
with both of mine not to have any serious issues.
Yep.
Tank did have some ear infections. I started calling the drops I was putting in his ears, I'd call them the war drops.
Yeah.
I'd come back from class and walk into the hotel room and pick up that bottle and that little dropper, and he would immediately get on the bed and like, all right, motherfucker, let's roll.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're talking having to pin this dog to the ground.
Well, Thor's the same fucking way when it comes to his ears or trying to clip his nails.
Yeah, but he just runs away.
And when you get a hold of him, though, he's a bastard.
Like,
he
Tank would like would bite at me and stuff.
Well,
like,
he won't bite at me, but he's
it,
definitely stubborn enough where he makes it difficult.
It was the one time that it was okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because I knew how painful it was, me having to, because his ear was swollen shut.
Yep.
And I'm having to shove this thing in enough to get the drops in.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, I'll allow this because I know this is painful and you don't understand.
Well, that turd had an ear infection, so I had to take him in, and they packed his ears full of this medicine, which was disgusting, because as soon as he came out, he immediately shook his head and flung that medicine everywhere. And I was like, ugh. And then it looked like this pussy medicine that they put in there.
Yeah.
It's loaded with all kinds of fucking antibiotics and whatever. But then, of course, I have him in my vehicle, and he's doing it in the back seat, too. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, can you wait till we get to the house?
He's like, I can't help it.
I know. And I get it. Like, you know, when I have something in my ear, like I get water in my ear, I want to get it out. So,
right.
I mean, I kind of sympathize with him, but it was nasty because that stuff made his ear, like, really greasy, waxy, and smelly. And it was just it just looked disgusting. And it was like, all the hair inside his ears looked all matted and wet, and I was just like, buddy, I feel bad for you. I was like, but I promise this is going to help you out.
And now he's all better.
And now he is all better, for the most part, and I got to start flushing it. They said once a month to flush it with this stuff they gave me. It's basically similar stuff that you have, but it's a different brand. And he does really good when it comes to, like, taking his medicine, which is kind of shocking because any other dog I've had, they're always like real finicky about it. But the ear stuff, he's like, fuck off, get that shit away from me. He doesn't like it. And I get it. Like, it's awkward. It feels weird. Something's inside your fucking ear cavity and it's not supposed to be there. And you're just like, what the fuck? But then once you get it in there and you work it in there, he's kind of like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, that's the spot right there. And you're like, why do you fucking fight me? Like, come on, man. But I think over time, maybe he'll get used to it. Just kind of like showers. He loves showers, which is funny. Like, if I leave my shower door open and I turn the water on, he'll try to go in there and beat me into the shower.
Yes.
And I'm like, where are you going? And he's like, I'm going to get a shower. You get a shower. I'm going to get a shower.
Tank does the same stuff.
Yeah.
And Tank will stand at the shower and like, if you shut the curtain, he's like trying to pull the curtain back and like, no.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Roxy, she wants in there, but she doesn't necessarily want in the shower.
They're definitely the more expressive dogs that I've ever owned or been around when it comes to that, whether it's their talking or their posturing or their affectionateness or just whatever that it is that they're doing. I've had other dogs that were talkative, but it was usually like when they wanted food or to go outside.
Nothing, so far out of dogs I've encountered, nothing trumps a husky on its talkativeness.
Oh, my God. Those dogs can really get after it.
They can flat ass
because that's
talk.
the one I was thinking of, because we had one when I was a kid. Her name was Sabrina, and she had those ice blue fucking eyes.
Yeah.
And she was very, very talkative. Not expressive, but very talkative. And very protective of me at the time, which was kind of cool.
Like, my dad had Akitas when I was growing up.
Those can be big fucking dogs.
Oh, they're
man.
huge dogs. And,
furry as fuck too, man.
He had one. The first one he ever had, her name was Ty. And there's a picture of me in my Ninja Turtle sleeping bag. I'm like 4 or 5, and I'm asleep in the floor of his camper.
Yeah.
And she's sitting beside me with this little bandana on, right?
Yeah.
And I was hers. So fast forward, I'm like 13.
Mm-hmm.
I go to visit them, Well, I don't even hesitate. I'm in the house, downstairs, and out the back door of their townhouse because she's had a litter of puppies, and it's her and the male.
Mm.
And I just straight through the sliding glass door and right out there to them, right?
Yeah.
I don't even hesitate. Well, my dad tells me later that nobody else is allowed back there but him
Mm.
because she gets very protective, right?
Right.
Nope. I was there and I was allowed to get in the doghouse with the puppies. I could do whatever I wanted.
That's funny. You're basically part of the pack.
And then I made a mistake of letting one of the neighborhood kids in the backyard, and the chains were just short enough to where they had him pinned to the back gate and they couldn't get him.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I was in deep doo-doo over that.
You could say you were in the doghouse.
Oh, I definitely would have been. I would have been better off staying in the doghouse.
Yeah. I do like having a dog. I just don't like the responsibilities that come with having a dog. You know,
It's definitely not a cat.
No, cats are self-sufficient, but dogs, they definitely need more of your attention and more of you to do things for them. And with the bulldog, he's, they're kind of messy. You know, they slobber only after they've had a bunch of water, or they've been outside, or they see something they really want to eat and they start salivating, and then I'm like, dude, I just fucking cleaned the floor, bro. 'Cause there'll be like drool marks all over the damn floor.
They don't mind you wiping their mouths for them.
No, and he doesn't mind. Like, it's funny. I've got him now trained when he comes back from being out in the grass and it's dew in the morning. I throw a towel down and I say, towel. And he'll stand on a towel and he'll let me dry him, his paws and
Right.
legs and everything else off. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go in. And then he'll go inside. So he's smart when it comes to that, which is great. He's easily trained on certain things. I haven't tried to teach him how to lay down consistently yet, because he doesn't really listen. He does listen to sit.
Yeah.
He listens to wait.
Right.
And he doesn't really listen to get over here or come or on me. He doesn't really seem to give a fuck about those commands either.
Mm-hmm.
Or no. He doesn't care about no. I'm like, bro.
None of the English bulldogs I've ever encountered, even the ones I don't own,
Yeah.
listen to the word no.
And I'm like, dude.
You get the side eye like, bitch, please.
Yeah, I'm like when I just took him out to go to the bathroom, I was like, no, and he fucking took off for the side yard that's all tore up from me ripping the stump out. And I'm like, you motherfucker. And then I go over there and I'm like corralling him, and he tries to take off towards that other one where there's a fucking puddle, and I was like, you better stop. And he kind of stopped for a second. I was like, don't you fucking do it. And he's like, oh, he means business. Okay, I guess I'll come back. Because had he run through he would have been up to his fucking ears in that mud, because that one's a mud water hole.
Oh, I seen it when I come by today, and I was like, oh, good God, if Thor got into that.
I'm waiting. It will happen this weekend at some point, and I will be giving him a bath again from traipsing around in the fucking mud, because he's part pig, goddamn house hippopotamus.
I mean, he does snort a lot.
He does. He is a house hippo. I don't care what people say, because he likes to roll in the mud. He likes to roll in the grass. He just, for whatever reason, wants to be dirty little fucking hippopotamus.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. Well, you got a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a fuzzy one. And if it weren't for the fact that he was so cute, he'd probably be dead. Just saying. I think there's reason for that. Because this fucking dog will test me, and I'm like, all right, you're going to the pound, or I'm going to put you up for adoption. And then like a day or two go by, and he goes back to being cute and nice, and it's like, all right, you fucker.
One of these days, I'm just going to come knocking on the door, and you're not going to answer. I'm going to come in the house and find you like passed out on the floor because he's let one bomb off real good, and it's just knocked you out.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've thought about a secondary dog for him to play with, but I think one is enough for me. I don't need two. I just don't want to deal with that amount of fucking dog hair, one, and chaos, two.
Because they're going to want to play and all this other stuff. And then they're jockeying for who's.
Because when I watch Roxy For You, those two are relentless.
Mm-hmm.
And it's non-fucking stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, will you two give it a break? But she's a great mom.
Right.
And she's like, oh, well, I'd like to play too. And
yeah.
so then they just fucking go forever. And it's like, oh, my God, would you both fucking chill? And then they'll go until they're, like, panting heavily. And it's like, yeah, see, now you're both fucking exhausted, but you don't stop because you're stubborn.
But what's hilarious is Tank is just like, I'm just going to lay here.
Yeah. It's funny because he's like, he'll watch them and he's like, stay the fuck away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I want nothing to do with none of that.
Like, he got so used to me turning, like, the TV on before I'd leave for work.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I'll put it on Tubi because it's the only app that won't, like, stop.
Right.
So it'll just cycle through randomness all day long.
Watching Addams Family and shit.
He'll get up in my recliner, and that's just where he hangs all day. All day.
He is old man status.
Yeah, he just hangs out, right?
He's total old
right?
man.
Like
the fucking no ass, fucking grouchy face.
Well, like so,
sitting
I
in
put
a recliner in a blanket.
I put a camera up in the camper one time for a few days just to see what they did when I went to work. Right. So Tank would get up in the recliner, and that's it.
Yeah.
For pretty much the entire
and then
day.
Roxy's just on the beanbag.
No, Roxy would pull every damn toy out of the toy box and stroll it all over the floor. Like, shake it a couple times, drop it, and go get the next one, right? Till the entire toy box was empty.
And he's like, I don't want to play with you, bitch.
And he's just looking at her like, what the hell are you doing? Right? He'll get down, go get a drink of water. She would every now and then get up in the recliner. Well, he would go over, shove his head up under her butt, and, like, launch her out of the recliner. Like, no, my recliner.
My spot.
Get lost.
Yeah.
So then he'd get back up her, chill all day and watch TV. I come home, and she's like, looking all, like, innocent, like I didn't do anything, and he's like, bitch, please. She's the one that tore out the toys, Dad.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah. He's like, ain't me.
Yeah,
ain't
but
me.
She wants to play.
Yeah.
He doesn't care, but then he's weird too at times because it's very rare, but then he gets in this play mood where he wants to play.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to play with her. He wants
to play with you.
to play with him, right? So we have this thing where, like, I have these really thick black gloves, right? Yeah. Anytime he sees me go get these, he knows it's playtime for him.
Yeah.
Roxy wants to get involved.
Of course.
But that's not Roxy's playtime, right? So he makes her aware of, like, this is my playtime.
This is me and Dad's time.
Yeah, this is guy time.
This is the boys.
Yeah, this is guy time.
Yeah.
You back off.
Beat it, B.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This one, he just wants to play all the time, constant, like just nonstop, and he just fucks with feet. Because I fuck with him with my feet when I have shoes on. So now he's got this thing in his head where, oh well, if I fuck with your foot, then you're gonna mess with me, and then we can play. Because he likes to do that, and then like he does this pawing thing where he's like,
like his mom,
like he's tackling or grabbing you or trying to grapple or whatever it is, and it's funny because like if I have shoes on, it doesn't bother me, but if I'm barefoot, that little bastard will bite your toes, and it's like, come on, man. And he's just kind of like, what? He doesn't know no better. Kind of a big dumb animal sometimes. But I think,
and he gets that full booty wiggle instead of getting the tail wiggle from like other dogs. Their whole ass shakes.
And
when
he's
they see
got
you.
a weird tail from all the dogs of the litter too. He's got like a longer corkscrew tail. Which is uncommon.
Goes right along with your little pig in slop.
It is. It's like a pigtail. And I have to. The problem with that though is then I have to lift it and wipe underneath his butt pocket.
But the good thing is it's not a tight corkscrew like some of the other ones, so you don't have to clean in there.
Yeah, but I do on a regular basis just because, I'll see him trying to get after it every once in a while. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey. Like when I took him to the vet and I had him do the expressing. He does have really bad acne on his chin, which...
I noticed that. I'm not sure why his is like that.
I am not sure. I try to keep his water fresh, but he rubs his fucking face on stuff all the time and rubs it on the concrete, which rubs his chin raw, and then next thing you know, he's busted it open and fucking blood's everywhere. So, it is what it is with him. He's a unique dog, kind of a pain in the ass from time to time, but we've
walked the dog.
We've definitely walked the dog. and we're gonna probably need some the hair of the dog tomorrow after the drinking.
Oh yeah, you want to talk?
Oh, now he wants to get in on the podcast. Yeah.
What do you got to say?
It's like nothing. I just went up on your lap. You're not letting me up on your lap. Oh, no, he's got nothing to say.
I thought you had something to say.
Yeah. All right, well, that wraps it up for us here at Bourbon Sauce. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. The more you like and share, the better the chances are we can grow this channel. Plus, Thor's got more to say to you. And if you don't answer us, he's probably going to come find you. And check out our Instagram page, www.instagram.com/bourbon sauce, where you can see clues on upcoming episodes as well as see photos that pertain to our podcast. And if you like Thor and you want to see more pictures of Thor, let us know that on our Instagram too, and we can start maybe a page for him and Roxy and Tank. You never know. But you can message us on our Instagram where you'll get real-time feedback and interact with us. Hope you come back. Until next time, enjoy your favorite beverage and get sauced.
Cheers.